Hi Queens, Sam here. I hope that you're doing amazing. Welcome back to my channel, Black Women Build Wealth, and today is day 13 of the 30 in 30. And I wanted to share with you today my 3 steps paycheck routine. And my video was is actually inspired by Ramit Sethi's video that he did a few weeks ago. He made a video titled "Do This When You Get Paid Paycheck Routine," and in that video, he shares 3 steps that he suggested that people follow when they actually get paid, which optimally is supposed to improve their money management plan. So I do already have a money management plan in place for myself, which I have tweaked over the years. It's I feel like it's working for me at this point, but I'm also always on the lookout for ways to improve my system. So I thought I would actually compare my system to the 3 steps that he's actually recommending and see if there was a way for me to improve it. So I'll take you through that quickly in this video. I will link his video in the comments in the description below my video, so you guys can check it out after you watch my video. I do recommend that you actually check it out because I liked it. It was like 13 minutes, and it really shares great nuggets in that video on how to improve your money management plan. And before I get into those 3 steps and how they compare to my personal situation, just to mention that I'm still on maternity leave and I'm going back to work early February. So what that means for me is that currently I'm receiving employment insurance benefits from the government, which is 55% of my salary. And I'm fortunate enough to work for an employer that is providing the remaining 45% of my salary. So I'm receiving the government assistance and I'm also getting the top up from my employer. So I've been literally on mat leave for almost 12 months now, receiving my salary as if I was working. So I'm fortunate enough to be in that position, and I do recognize that not is not a position for many people. So I just want to put it out there. And the other thing is, as I'm going through this, you will see there's some stuff that I will mention that, this definitely works for me, this doesn't work for me. At the end of the day, personal finance is personal. That's what I tell my customers when I meet with them and we're talking. I tell them, ideally, this is what you want to have. However, we also need to look at things based on your current situation, and things do change. So it's really important to remain flexible and making sure that what you have in place right now do works for you, and that you're not trying to apply some rules or some best ways to do things in your system if that doesn't work for you. So let me tell you about those 3 steps, and then we'll go through them one by one, and I'll look at my list here just to make sure that I'm saying it the right way. The first one is link your accounts. The second one is set up your automatic money flow. And the third one is tweak the system that so it works for you. So first step is link your account. So in his video, Ramit is if you know him, you know he's a huge proponent of automation. So essentially, automating everything that you can as far as your finances go. So having the majority, if not all of your bills being taken directly from your account. And you also setting up automatic contributions to your savings account, your investments. So everything that you can automate is like a huge component of that. Go ahead and automate that. So then you're not thinking about it, and that also reduces your chances of you forgetting to pay bills, forgetting to save money, forgetting to invest. And I am for me, the way my system is right now, I'll say I'm probably 80% automated. There are some bills that I guess I've decided not to automate because in the past I've been burned, such as my phone bills. I don't automate my phone bill because what I do every 6 months or every year or so is that I call my phone company and I try to strike a deal with them. And usually, if I'm successful, they usually give me the deal for like a year. And so I don't want them to go after that year because maybe I would have forgotten and then apply whichever, I guess, like new plan amount that they would have set up for me, because it's much harder to get the money back once the company has it than not to pay them. Even if you get the bill, you can call them and negotiate something versus them already taking the money from your account. That's from my experience. I've been burned, especially with my phone company. So that is one of the bills that I do not automate. I automate, I'll say, pretty much everything that has to do with my housing, like my mortgage payment, my heat, my hydro, all of those things, like my condo fee, which is HOA for you guys in the US. So I automate things that I know are like fixed payment or like those I automate. But anything that it's I feel like might be contentious, that I don't automate. So phone bill is not automated. I also do not automate my credit card payment. That's my personal decision. However, I pay my balance every month. I'm very diligent. I pay my balance every month. You guys know I'm a huge proponent of paying your statement balance before the due date. And I've shared in this same uh, 30 and 30 series, three less known facts about credit cards. I'll link the video here so you can check it out. But I also have other videos on credit cards on my channel. And honestly, guys, I cannot say this enough is like pay your balance before the due date. So though I pay my balance before the due date for all of my three credit cards that I'm using right now, I do not automate the payment because I want to have the flexibility to make those payments by myself. Most of the time, I cannot make the payment in one shot. I have to make the payment in like two or three shots, and that's perfectly fine. The most important is that the money, the credit card balance is paid before the due date. So that is not automated for me. So that's kind of like maybe where I deviate from what Ramit is suggesting, and that is just the way things are structured for me right now. I have to be very diligent about my money, and so I need to be careful of how things are being paid and also the time that it's being paid. So that's the way it is for me. The second thing, which is essentially set up your automatic money flow. And so what it says in there is that one thing that you want to make sure of is that the majority of your bills need to be paid around the time that you get paid yourself. So you don't want to be in a situation where maybe you paid on the 15th, but then on the 13th you have like three or four bills that need to be paid. Except if you're really super diligent with your money, most people, or close to the time that they get paid again, maybe their money is running low and they don't have enough to cover any bills. So what you want to do is that your bills, if you get paid on the 15th, that your bills, the majority of your bills will be either, let's say, 16, 17. I would suggest not to put bill payment the same day that you paid, because some company will just go at 1 a.m. that day and try to take the money from your account. And there are some employers that maybe the money doesn't show in your account until 7 a.m. So that difference, depending on how your bank sees it, some bank will be like, as long as the money is in the account before end of the day, you're good. And some bank will like, before that money is taken from your account, you need to have that money in there. If not, you're going to be getting a non-sufficient fund fee. And those are could be costly, like $35, $50. You don't want to be paying any stupid fee to any bank because you didn't have enough money in your bank account. So you want to set up your payment date for your bills around the time that you are paid, because most of the time it's around those times that you will have more money in your account. So that's something that actually I've never done. I think I've just I just went with whichever payment date that I was given, on the credit card, on the phone bill. I've never really called any provider to say, can you change the payment date? However, that's something that I'm actually going to be looking into, because right now my payments are all over the place, and I've been okay with it. I don't think that I've felt like I've never really been in a situation where I felt like, oh my God, I can't make this payment or anything like that. I've been fortunate enough to be a good steward of my money, to be able to pay my bills and all that. However, I do see the value in what Ramit is saying, in really making sure that, the majority of your bills need to be paid around the time that you have the most money in your account. So that's an exercise that I'm going to be doing and really looking at uh, around like when my bills are due, and picking up the phone and calling the company and asking them to change the due date for something that actually works best for me. I don't, I think it's mainly that um, maybe creating chunks. Right now, like I know like so I'm paid every 2 weeks, so I'll make sure that essentially my bills need to be paid every 2 weeks around the time that I'm paid as well. So that's an exercise that definitely I'm going to be doing. I like that step because it really gave me an idea of how to improve my money flow, like you say. So I want it to be as simple as possible. And then the third step that he shares, he is essentially tweak the system to make sure that it actually works for you. And in that, I mean, it refers the most to people who are not paid, let's say on a consistent, on a frequent basis, like I guess on a some sort of like schedule, like maybe they're not like they have like irregular payments, maybe they're on commission or they're not like employees who are getting paid every 2 weeks or like twice a month or like every month, but they have like an irregular payment schedule. And so in that case, it's really important to have a system in place that is going to help you to manage your finances better, because you know that maybe you might have a big check of like $20,000 this month, but the next 2 months, who knows, depending of your profession, maybe you don't, let's say if you're a realtor, you don't sell any house, or you don't know when the next paycheck will come, and you don't know how much it will be. So it's quite important to what he says in that video, and that I like a lot, is really to have a buffer, because you can't really predict the future. I mean, even for us who are working and getting paycheck every 2 weeks or like regularly, we don't know the future either. But I guess there is more prediction in you getting a paycheck than someone getting a commission, because it's based on more. It depends on more variables. So definitely have like a buffer. He suggests is like 3 months worth of your expenses that is somewhere. So we call that emergency fund. But I think even beside the emergency fund, have a 3 months of expenses saved, which is going to be more for your living expenses. So not for emergency. That will be for your living expenses. So you have your 3 to 6 months emergency fund, and on top of that, you also build a buffer of 3 months, like minimum 3 months worth of living expenses. So when you have those big checks, that's where you really do the work. And even if there is a way for you to pay some bill that you're comfortable paying in advance, do that. Let's say your HOA, or like, in my case, my condo fee. Right now, it's a set amount every month. And I know some people here, some homeowners, they pay the condo fees for the year or like for 6 months. So if you have a good chunk of money and you're comfortable going ahead and prepaying those bills, do that, because then that takes one bill out of your mind that you need to worry about on a monthly basis. So definitely, you need to tweak your system, and that's where I guess the personal aspect of personal finances comes into place. Like you need to look at the end of the day, you need to look at your own situation and see what and put it in place a system that actually works for you. And that's what I do with my customers. So in case you guys are wondering how you can actually get in touch with me and book a coaching call, there is a link in the description below this video to my Calendly, and you can book an hour coaching with me, or we can get a package for 3 coaching or 6 coaching. Which I usually recommend the 3 coaching, because depending on what you want to work on, it's really good that you can have more than one coaching session with me, so then we can do follow up and maybe tweak some stuff just to make sure that you have something in place that actually works for you. So feel free to go ahead and book some time with me, and I'll be more than happy to help you with that. So there you have it. That's kind of like my system through the lenses of the 3 steps, 3 steps paycheck routine that Ramit Sethi suggests in his video. So if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel here, hit the notification bell. So it doesn't cost you anything to do any of those things. So go ahead and do it. And one more thing, share with anyone that you may know who will definitely benefit from this video. So there you have it. Come back tomorrow for day 14. And until then, keep on building wealth. Bye.